Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade, and today we're going to be taking a look at a wave pattern short here on the Russell that we just got filled in. And let's just move our targets down here. That one's actually good. Bump this one down, go a couple ticks ahead of that there. Perfect. So taking a look at this trade, we've got it firing off. As you can see, the wave pattern just by itself is firing off absolutely perfectly. We're coming right into that trigger zone, exact, I mean, you could just call that a crosshair. Exact reversal right out of that zone. Now, the reason we're taking this trade and the reason why I really like this short trade here is, well, we've got a couple reasons actually. First things first, we have a nice 1, 2, 3 reversal, which is a big sign that prices are reversing off of these highs. Now, along with that, we broke below the BMTs down here. The second cloud that's down here, we got price to break below that location, if just for a little bit, but we actually did break through it, and that's enough for me to kind of have an idea that we're going to be breaking a little bit lower. So we've just got that first target filled, and actually let me put those on real quick so we can see what's going on. There we go. So the first target filled here at 1124.3, that's 3 contracts off at that level, and that's 9 ticks. So we have 9 ticks at 3, so we're doing pretty good so far. We're up 27 ticks. Now, I moved my stop back, and the reason behind this is because we do still have to deal with this BMT here. We've got this cloud coming through here, and we need to start actually digging in and making new lower lows. If we don't make new lower lows here, then we know we're going to have a little bit of trouble. If we do start making new lower lows, the worst case, if we do come back and stop us out, we've already made 27 ticks. We give back one of those contracts, basically. We give back 9 ticks, so we're still up 180 bucks on the trade. But what we're looking for here is a push a little bit further down to our overall target, and we'll draw our tool up here again so we can see it. Looking for our overall target just a couple ticks ahead of this 1121.9. We're looking at 1122.2. So as long as we can continue to make lower lows, we should be good to reach down into that target. But taking a look at this trade again, one big thing, we do have a 1, 2, 3 reversal. That's firing off really well. We basically rejected straight out of our bullseye right there. Just an absolutely gorgeous rejection there. We broke below the BMT, which is a big sign. We had a cross down in our averages there. That's a good sign. And the big one is if we look on my 60-minute chart here, we're rejecting straight off of the BMT on the 60-minute chart. So we're coming off of a really highly potent area of rejection out of 1127. And that 1127 area, you can see they attempted to go through it, and they did quite a bit. 1127 is actually back here. Let's draw 1127 right there. We'll make that a little bit bigger. And change that to our favorite color there, chartreuse. That's 1127. That's the BMT on the 60-minute chart. And you can see they broke above it. They had a little bit of rejection there, but it immediately broke through that. And then it immediately, right after that, broke straight back down again. And when it broke down, it came back for a nice retest. And that's where we're using that anchor. And that's why we're using that anchor right there, because it gives us a gorgeous little anchor that we can use to hop into the short side for this 1, 2, 3 reversal off of the 60-minute BMT. So overall, I mean, it's just a phenomenal pattern setting up. We've got our stop locked in at -9, basically giving back 1 contract of the 9 ticks that we just made on the other 3. So worst case, we make $180 on the trade. Best case, we keep the 270 that we're in right now, and we make another 310 on the trade. So we'll see what we can do here. We are expecting this to be a little bit choppy. We are coming off of a 60-minute level. And because we're coming off of a 60-minute level, it can be kind of shaky. We're looking at a 4 JJ bar chart, which is pretty quick. So you're not going to see an immediate result trading off of a 60-minute chart. We need to give it a little bit of a buffer. So that's why we're kind of keeping our stop back a little ways here. So looking for the overall target down here at 1122.2. But outside of that, expecting again just to be a little bit choppy, but we did make a new low there. We should continue back down from here. So we'll be back in a little bit, and we'll see how the trade ends up. All right, folks, we're back. Coming in 1 tick away from our target here. Because we're 1 tick away, I don't want to give any of this back, so I'm going to put my stop just above where we would get a reversal bar at 1123.1. We did lock our stop in a little bit closer once we got into a new low again. We faltered a little bit down here, but then overall we moved up a little bit, moved into just slightly negative territory, and then came back down. And once we made that new low, we knew we could lock our stop in just above this 25.6 just to be a little bit safer. So There we go, and we actually just got our target filled, so that locks in another 31 ticks on the trade. So overall, just an awesome, awesome trade. We knew we were going to get a little bit choppy in here, but as long as we didn't break above that swing high back here, we knew that we were in a pretty solid position. And that's why we moved our stop up there instead of normally like we would move it to break even, because you'll see exactly what happened. We would have got stopped out pretty much to the tick and then immediately reverses right back down to get us out where we thought it was going to go anyway. And you want to avoid that kind of stuff when you're taking trades off of bigger time frames like that, because you can get whipped out. It's a 60-minute chart. You've got quite a bit of time and distance for that candle to move within a 60-minute period. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're taking trades off of bigger time frames. But overall, just a phenomenal trade. From our entry here at 25.3 to the first target, took 3 contracts off at 9 ticks, and then for the final target, took off at 31 ticks. So if you use our handy-dandy little calculator here, 9 times 3 is 27, plus the extra 31 gives us $580 on the trade. And overall, just a perfect example of just an awesome, awesome wave pattern out of a perfect area. Good location, pretty much everything lining up. And then everything on top of that falls right into the crosshair. So just a perfect trade. So that's going to be today's trade. If you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. And don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. Have a good one. Bye.